It is an image that needs no introduction. Serene, weightless, and impossibly beautiful, she floats towards us from a distant past. Sandro Botticelli's Venus is one of the most famous figures in the history of art, an icon of the Italian Renaissance, recognized the world over. The title, after all, is The Birth of Venus. But what if I told you that title is wrong? In the vibrant crucible of 15th century Florence, art was power. Wealthy patrons fueled a creative explosion, commissioning works that were not just beautiful, but also statements of their intellect, influence, and ambition. To understand the birth of Venus, we must first understand the artist who brought her to life, Sandro Botticelli, and the powerful family who likely paid for her creation, the Medici. Sandro Botticelli, born Alessandro di Mariano Filippi, was a product of Florence's demanding artistic world. He later apprenticed under Fra Filippo Lippi, considered the finest Florentine painter of his time, honing his skills and developing a unique, lyrical approach to form and line. Although no official record of the commission survives, scholars are fairly certain that the birth of Venus was created for the Medici family. The most likely patron was Lorenzo di Pier Francesco de' Medici. The Medici connection seems hard to miss. If you look closely at the orange grove on the right, you'll notice a clever detail. Orange trees were known at the time as Mala Medica, a name that sounds strikingly similar to Medici. It was a subtle way of weaving the family's presence directly into the painting's landscape. To understand why a Medici patron would commission such a monumental and unusual work, we need to take a closer look at the extraordinary scene Botticelli created. At the heart of the painting is Venus, not being born, but arriving. The myth tells us she was conceived in the sea, but what we see here is her landing on the shores of Cyprus or Cythera, fully grown. Her pose is a direct reference to classical statues of the Venus Pudica, or Venus of Modesty, which were highly prized in Renaissance Florence. With her hands and her impossibly long, gold-gilded hair, she delicately shields herself. Notice her form. The elongated neck and torso are anatomically improbable. Botticelli was not concerned with strict realism. He was crafting an imaginative, rhythmic beauty, a figure that floats rather than stands, governed by the flowing lines of a Gothic ivory sculpture more than the solid weight of a classical marble. To her left, two winged figures are locked in an intricate embrace. The male god is Zephyrus, the gentle west wind of spring. The female nymph he carries is either Aura, the personification of a light breeze, or the nymph Chloris. Lines radiating from their mouths show their joint breath, a powerful gust that propels Venus's shell toward the shore. As they blow, they shower the air with roses, each with a brilliant heart of pure gold. On the right, a female figure waits to receive the goddess. The floral decoration on her white dress identifies her as the Hora of Spring, one of the minor goddesses of the seasons. With a joyful expression, she holds out a rich, flower-patterned cloak, ready to cover Venus as she steps onto the land. Now that we've met the characters, what is the story they are acting out? Botticelli was not simply painting from his imagination. He was a visual translator, transforming the words of ancient myths and contemporary court poets into a stunning pictorial narrative. The mythological origin of Venus is a story of cosmic violence. According to the myth, the Titan Cronus castrated his father, the sky god Uranus. When Uranus's severed genitals fell into the ocean, the sea was fertilized, and from the foam, Venus was conceived. This is the dramatic backstory, the conception that happened far out at sea. But it is not the moment Botticelli chose to depict. The direct visual source for the painting is likely a fusion of classical texts. Scholars believe Botticelli was inspired by the court poet Angelo Poliziano, who worked for the Medici. In his poem, The Stanze per la Giostra, Poliziano describes a goddess on a conch shell, wafted to shore by playful zephyrs. an image so close to the painting it is considered a direct influence. It is this gentle arrival, not the violent conception, that Botticelli brings to life. An artist's materials are never just incidental. They are strategic choices that define a work's appearance and purpose. For the birth of Venus, Botticelli broke with Florentine tradition. Today, painting on canvas is standard, but in 15th century Tuscany, it was revolutionary. Major works were customarily done on expensive, heavy wood panels. Botticelli's choice of canvas was daring. As a lighter and more affordable support, canvas was often used for decorative works intended for country villas, like those owned by the Medici, which were designed for pleasure rather than ostentatious display. Botticelli used a technique of thin tempera, made from pigment mixed with diluted egg yolk, but he enhanced it by grinding lustrous alabaster powder into his gesso ground before painting. This combination gave the painting an extraordinary transparency and a soft, delicate light, creating an effect more akin to a fresco than a traditional panel painting. It is this technical brilliance that lends the work its ethereal, almost unreal quality. Finally, Botticelli applied real gold leaf with the skill of the goldsmith he once was. This was not mere decoration. It was essential to the painting's divine radiance. Gold was heavily used to highlight the flowing tresses of Venus's hair, the ridges of the gilded scallop shell, the shimmering wings of Zephyrus and his companion, the precious golden hearts of the roses, the delicate tips of the orange blossoms. This use of thin tempera, alabaster, and gold was not just a technical choice, it was a conceptual one. It created a scene that was deliberately otherworldly and dreamlike, priming the viewer's mind for the kind of philosophical and spiritual contemplation. From its home in a private country villa, Botticelli's Venus has journeyed to become a global icon. Its influence extends far beyond the walls of the Uffizi Gallery, shaping art, fashion, and popular culture for over 5 centuries. It is a touchstone of Western art. As the most important large-scale nude depicted since classical antiquity, it set a new precedent, breaking free from the exclusively religious context for nudity that had dominated for 1,000 years. Venus's image is everywhere. A detail of her face appears on the cover of Lady Gaga's 2013 album Art Pop, and her visage graces the Italian 10-cent euro coin, a testament to her status as a national and European treasure. Its presence in our modern world proves its timeless appeal, a beauty that transcends centuries. And that is why, more than 500 years later, we still stand in awe as Venus arrives, timeless and perfect, on the shore. What do you think? Which painting should we explore next? Tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss what's coming next.